Hi friends, it's your buddy Matt, the global ergonomist and ergo coach, welcoming you to another strong Qigong. We worked up a sweat today on the porch, overlooking the Blue Ridge in western North Carolina. This was what we called our wax off class. So that's in deference to the old Karate Kid movies, and remember wax on, wax off. That's how we describe our silk reeling. So we have some that move across the center line. We call that wax on, and then today's class was wax off, where we push in both directions outward. We started out there. We worked our way into wax on, wax off in horse stance, east and west. We always like to balance yin and yang. And then from there, we went into some classics in Tai Chi that you might recognize. One was wave hands like clouds, very similar to wax off, only hand position and a few different changes. And then from there, we went to Master Wong Calms Waters, where we go all the way behind, extending the exhale all the way across. These are all related, so you see how they interconnect. And in strong Qigong, it's more like jazz. We use silk reeling, so we're more all about getting into the vamp, getting into the groove, getting into the flow state, and breathing through our movements. I like to call it seeing the breath, because you can slow your movement down with your breath and actually see it. And that's what we do here, because it's a mind, body, and if you want to say spirit experience. You get all of them together: exercise, balance, strengthening, conditioning, all in one activity we call strong Qigong. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you'll check out the like button and press the like button, press the notification bell so you hear about these and can join us live. And then also add to that comments wherever you can. That helps us with the algorithm and learning about what you like and want to see more of. And then finally, share this with anyone who can benefit, and many people can benefit nowadays. So that way we grow our community, and we invite you back again and again for strong Qigong. Let's begin as always with some long, slow, deep, silent breaths. Deep and slow, quiet and even. In through the nose and out from the mouth. In through the belly, out from the chest. In through the heart, out from the mind. As you begin to extend every exhale, making every exhale a little longer, we call this sharpening the mind on the stone of the breath. And this is about extending every exhale. So at the bottom of every breath cycle, when you feel like you're out of breath, you're actually not. There's more reserve capacity in the lower lobes of your lungs. You have floating ribs that can serve as bellows. So at the bottom of every breath, you squeeze a little more air out. And the next ensuing inhale is far deeper. That's the way we do it in strong Qigong. We call this sharpening the mind on the stone of the breath. And we have an old saying in strong Qigong: the key to taking a deep breath isn't how much we draw in from our nose. The key to taking a deep breath is how much we blow out from our mouths. So at the bottom of every breath, squeeze a little more air out, and then enjoy the deep ensuing inhale as you rebound and draw that breath inward. And as you do so, if your eyes are closed, you might invite them to close so that you can focus your mind. This is the important portion of strong Qigong we call sharpening the mind on the stone of the breath. With every exhale and every deep ensuing inhale, you begin to seek out the fleeting moment where your out-breath changes to your in-breath and your in-breath changes back to your out-breath. Those fleeting moments are the razor's edge, if you will. We use the visualization of a beautiful samurai katana. And you look for the moments where out-breath flips to in-breath and in-breath flips back to out-breath. And it's like sharpening the mind on the stone of the breath. With each draw in, you bring that blade towards you. And then you flip it, that's the fleeting moment. And then you exhale and push it from you. Use that visualization and focus your mind on the edge of that beautiful heirloom sword. And as you do so, you're sharpening your mind on the stone of the breath. This is a great meditative technique. You can use it anytime, even with one conscious breath. It can bring you back into this fleeting moment. So extend every exhale, enjoy every inhale, seek out the fleeting moments, and if eyes are closed, enjoy it a breath or two more until you invite your eyes to gently, slowly flutter open, just as a butterfly might leave a flower. Beautifully done. Welcome back. Let's get into our warm-ups. On our online classes, we do shorter warm-ups. In our live on-site classes, we do an extensive head to toe. But let's begin with the yoga neck roll. We inhale and our head floats like a balloon. As we exhale, we purse our lips as if we're letting air out of the balloon. And as we do so, when we inhale again, we inhale and we sweep one ear past one shoulder. We exhale across and sweep the other ear past the other shoulder. We always exhale across, always inhale ear past shoulder. We continue from side to side. This is known as the yoga neck roll. It's something I learned decades ago as a student physical therapist. Beautifully done. And on your next exhale, simply pause at the bottom. Inhale your chin back upright. We work into our shoulder girdles, the upper respiratory sinus. We call this our Dajue shoulder rolls. We inhale, looping our shoulders upward. And then as we exhale, we squeeze them backward and downward. And you do this in concert with your breath. Inhale, looping forward and upward. Exhale, squeezing downward and backward. Beautifully done. Dajue shoulder rolls, named for the Dajue point between your shoulder blades. And move in concert with your own breath. You don't need to follow mine. Beautifully done. Now, on your next exhale, relax your shoulders. Turn your eyes towards one hand and begin to scoop and toss the hand behind you from side to side. Scooping with palm up, tossing with palm down. And if you want to calibrate your breath with the move, you inhale as your palm scoops up, you exhale as your palm tosses behind you downward. This is silk reeling, and in strong Qigong, we call this the windmill, or just silk reeling. And silk reeling is basis of strong Qigong. We want to get into the groove. And so it's more like jazz. We just want to get into the vamp and the groove of a song. This allows us to gain access to the flow state. Now, go from looping your hands to looping your elbows, throwing an elbow back, like so, and go from side to side. Notice your turn in trunk, notice your shift in weight. Beautifully done. As you loop the elbows back, like so, bring that looping into your shoulder blades now. Big loops backward in each direction. And notice your shift in weight and your turn in trunk. That's part of this. We've gotten the upper respiratory sinus warmed up. We'll work into the lower respiratory sinus. Since we're already rocking and rolling and turning our trunk and shifting our weight, we simply go into ragdoll, and that is we use the turn of our trunk, the momentum of our trunk, to allow our hands to float from the body. Beautifully done. And as we do so, the ragdoll can advance into what's known as the pellet drum. Now, the pellet drum, we use this same momentum and we begin to invite our hands to slap or tap the top of the opposite shoulder and the low back. The prayer drum is what it's also known as. Now, as you start at the top of your shoulder, work your way down to the top of your chest. Somewhere where it's safe to slap, up around your collarbone is fine. And after you've slapped or tapped the top of your chest, drop to the bottom of the rib cage, those Floating ribs, we were warming up earlier, squeezing out every breath. Beautifully done. Then finally work to the hips, slapping, tapping the pellet drum. We've got the respiratory sinus warmed up. In fact, we got the upper half of the body warmed up. Let's focus on the lower half. Invite your hands to drift to your hips and begin looping your hips in big circles, as big as you can make them, as you focus on long, slow, deep, silent breath. Deep and slow, quiet and even. Whichever direction you chose, simply pause and loop in the opposite direction. Beautifully done. As you do this, we call this stirring the bowl. As you warm up the lower body, you invite your center of gravity to settle within your base of support. You step out a little wider and you allow yourself to bob a little bit. This is horse stance, known as horse riding stance, like being in an old Western. Now, this is where we do a warm-up for the lower body, known as the Great Bear Swings. We take a deep breath in. As we exhale, we turn our shoulders, drop down, and as we inhale, we turn our shoulders, rise to pause, then exhale, turn shoulders, drop down. Inhale, rise to pause. You continue from side to side. You follow your breath. Inhaling upward and exhaling downward. Beautifully done. The Great Bear Swings from side to side. Feel the power in your hips as you perform. And on your next exhale, invite yourself to pause at the bottom. Inhale your trunk back upright. And before we leave horse stance, in strong Qigong, we always like to do a little shifting weight on a figure 8. And what that means is as we rock from one side to the other, as we change direction, we swirl the hip in each direction, swirling backward if you'd like, and feeling that shift in weight. Why this is important is because it keeps your 3 dantian, those 3 smooth river rocks we always talk about, stacked peacefully on one another. So practice this. This is a good activity. It's a good way to burn calories while you're just standing around. Now, you don't have to be in horse stance. Invite yourself to settle back in the middle. Bring your feet back into what we call your center stance or your square stance. This is where we finish up. We shift weight to one foot. We raise the opposite heel. We loop our knee inward. After a few inward loops, we loop outward. And our knee and ankle work in concert with our foot. And we take weight through that foot, we raise the opposite heel, we loop inward. And after a few inward loops, we pause and loop outward. Beautifully done. Then we allow our center of gravity to settle within our base of support. We're almost finished. All we have left are the forearms, wrists, and hands. We gently clasp them in front of the heart, in front of the middle dantian, and we begin wrist rolls. You breathe deeply, slowly, quietly, and evenly as we finish up our warm-ups from head to toe. Whichever direction you chose is fine. Simply pause, loop in the opposite direction. Beautifully done. Now you can gently unclasp your hands, and this is where we begin Qigong breathing. We begin letting our palms lead the way. We inhale them up towards the heart center. We exhale them down towards the body center. And we breathe in this manner, inhaling palms up, exhaling palms down, breathing between the 2 dantian, the middle dantian and the lower dantian. But to get the most out of this visualization and activity, we'll need the help of our upper dantian. And that's the fun part. So if you can do so comfortably and your balance can tolerate it, you might invite your eyes to close so you can use the full power of your own visualization, imagination, concentration, and meditation. And if you're doing so and your eyes are closed, use this classic Qigong visualization known as cleansing the inner body. With every inhale, as your palms rise, visualize a glowing mist forming in the core of the earth, rising through the soles of the feet, up the trillions of cells of your inner body, what we call your inner galaxy. And as you exhale and your palms melt down, you imagine that that glowing mist forms in the upper dantian a glowing cloud. And that glowing cloud forms a glowing rain, and that glowing rain washes down your inner body, cleansing those trillions of cells, what we call your inner galaxy, from head to toe. So with every inhale, a glowing mist rises. And from every exhale, a glowing rain falls, cleansing the inner body and preparing for all that follows. Beautifully done. Now we settle into our alignment, our meditative pose, with eyes closed if you can tolerate it. When your hands rise again, invite them to pause at heart height in a hugging stance. This we call stand like tree, and this is where we take inventory of our alignment. So with long neck and light head floating upward like a balloon, our heavy shoulders and our heavy tail melt downward, and between them, our spine gently stretches in what's known in the ancient Asian literature as the string of pearls. And with soft knees and soft belly, our three energy centers rest comfortably on one another, as if we carefully gathered, balanced, and stacked three smooth river rocks on life's river's edge. And with soft knees and soft belly, soft gaze or best of all, eyes closed, we feel the echoes of the Qi we stirred. We see the dance of our warm-ups in our mind's eye. So we see and feel the yoga neck roll, and the Dajue shoulder rolls, the pellet drum and the windmills, the stirring of the bowl and the great bear swings, shifting weight on a figure eight. We see it. We feel it in our mind's eye using the power of our upper dantian, the power of our mind's eye. Beautifully done. And if eyes are closed, we enjoy it as the hands begin the slow journey downward until your thumbs find their destination crossed over your belly button. Your folded fingers warm just below in what's lovingly known as the cauldron of the body, the seat of Qi energy, the lower dantian. Through closed eyes and pursed lips, as if blowing through a straw, we blow on the embers of the cauldron of the body, and as we do, we delight in the growing, glowing light as the embers respond. And with each deep ensuing inhale, we draw the light upward and outward, and we begin to blow on the embers, the cauldron of the heart, continuing to blow on the embers of the cauldron of the heart and the cauldron of the body, filling that inner galaxy with light until it spills beyond the inner galaxy and it bathes the space between us with light, warm, silken Qi energy. And may your body be strong. And may your heart be calm. And if your eyes are closed, enjoy it as your hands begin to melt to your side, only inviting your eyes to gently, slowly flutter open when you feel ready, just as a butterfly might weave a flower. Beautifully done. Welcome back. We're ready to start. We step into the center of our little boat. And the hand on this side of the screen or room with you floats before the heart in a gentle fist. The hand on this side covers it. Together, we take a deep breath in to straighten. We slowly exhale and bow to one another in a gesture of mutual respect. And as we inhale ourselves back upright in gratitude for the tradition, as we exhale, our hands melt down. And when we inhale again, we inhale them up overhead till they're an inch apart. And then we slowly and deliberately exhale down our center line. This is known as sinking and centering the Qi. We do it again, and this time we bring our palms together in the Shaolin manner. And as we exhale, we only go as far as the heart center, as the Shaolin do. When we inhale, we bring our elbows rising and wrists straightening. When we exhale, we slowly melt down. We do this in deference to them since we borrow so much from them. And in gratitude, we step out into our little boat. We are ready. We inhale the hands up again, an inch apart. And this time as we exhale, our knees and hands melt down in concert with our breath. We continue in this manner, floating with the breath and melting with the breath. This is known as sinking the qi. And we always return to this in strong Qigong because this gives us a chance to take inventory of our alignment and make sure those three smooth river rocks are resting peacefully on life's river's edge. Beautifully done, floating with every inhale, melting with every exhale, sinking the qi. Now, when your hands pause at the bottom, I want you to inhale them up in front of you and spread them wide, like so, and then pause. Beautifully done. The hand on this side of your screen stays suspended. The hand on this side winds up on your hip. This area is called the qua. We call it the groin, and you're resting your hands right there on the crease of your hip. The hand that's suspended now floats outward, drags across, and then does it again. Palm outward if you can comfortably. As you inhale across, you exhale out to the side. This is silk reeling with one hand. You'll notice the turn in trunk and the shift in weight, just like we were doing in our warm-ups for our lower body. And in a moment, we're going to get the second hand involved. We call this our wax off routine, in deference to the old classic Karate Kid movie with Pat Morita, Wax On and Wax Off. We have a series for each one. Now, in a moment, when our hand returns and casts out like so, we're going to get the second hand involved. So it looks like this. Simply go from side to side. Beautifully done. Notice the palm is outward. You're leading with the elbow. And this is silk reeling reciprocally with both hands in strong Qigong. Now, what I want you to pay attention to is your shift in weight and your turn in trunk. This is a good time to practice that shifting weight on a figure eight. So if you can get a little bit of a swirl in that hip as you change direction, you're starting to move with those three smooth river rocks, balanced and stacked peacefully on life's river's edge. Beautifully done. Now, we're going to explore horse stance, east and west. And I'll count us down for our movement. So if you prepare yourself, we're going to go to the east in this direction. So 3, we follow our turn in trunk. 2, we follow our shift in weight. 1, we ready ourselves and we step out east into horse stance. Now feel the freedom of the movement in horse stance. It's a little more exercise, but it also feels free in our movement. It's beautifully done. We'll use the same metronome technique to return to our center stance, back to the west. So join me as we prepare ourselves. 3, we turn our trunk, beautifully done. 2, we shift our weight. 1, we ready ourselves and return to center stance and continue silk reeling. Well done. Now in strong Qigong, whatever we do to the east, we do to the west. So in a moment, we're going to step out into horse stance west. But as always, let's use our metronome technique. 3, we follow our shift. 2, we follow our turn. 1, we ready ourselves and we step out into horse stance, west. Continue your silk reel. Beautifully done. Eyes follow hands, hands follow breath, breath follows mind. Strong Qigong. Let's use our technique to return to center stance. 3, follow the turn. 2, follow the shift. 1, ready yourself and return to center stance. Continue to silk reel. Beautifully done. Now this silk reel, this wax off, is actually central to a couple of classics in Tai Chi we're going to explore now. It's very simple. Notice our shift in weight, notice our turn in trunk. Follow your breath. Remember, you can always slow down. And that's the beauty of breathing through your movement. Now, all we're going to do is change the position of our hands. Our lead hand is palm in. You begin to follow your palm from side to side. The lower hand cups in a palm up maneuver. And just like that, you've gone in to a classic Tai Chi move known as waving hands like clouds. Isn't that beautiful? That's why silk reeling is so powerful. You get to get into the rhythm and the flow state. And so, just like that, you're waving hands like clouds, a classic Tai Chi move. Well done. Now we'll throw one more in just to show the difference and how easy this is. As we follow our turn and trunk and our shift in weight, we position hands back to palm out in each direction, and lower hand is just kind of pushing water across our waist. And we're going into what's known as, a version of Master Wong Calms Waters. Now in Master Wong Calms Waters, we actually follow our movement all the way behind us, as far as we can go. And once we get to the end of our range, both directions, either direction, that's where we take a big inhale, switch positions like we're doing from side to side here, and then we exhale all the way across, extending the exhale. So watch me as we do it, and join in if you feel comfortable doing so. So you'll notice I'll go all the way behind, and then all the way across, and then all the way behind, and all the way across. Now this is how Master Wong Calms Waters and many Tai Chi and Qigong moves extend your exhale. Because the goal, if you can tolerate it and calibrate, is to inhale behind you as you switch hands, and then exhale all the way across as you turn trunk and shift weight. That's the beauty. I call it seeing your breath. In Tai Chi and Qigong, you get to see your breath by slowing it down and calibrating with your movement. Now, from Master Wong Calms Waters, turning all the way behind us, let's just go back to side and turn your palm towards yourself, cup your palm, and you're right back in to waving hands like clouds. Beautifully done. And then from waving hands like clouds, begin to turn palms out in both directions, and you're right back to wax off. That's the beauty of strong Qigong. It's like jazz, whereas formal Tai Chi and Qigong is more like classical music. Both are beautiful in their own right. But we want you to get into the flow state. have access to it, feel it, breathe it. And this is one of the great ways of doing it, silk reeling through strong Qigong. Now prepare yourself. We're going to land this plane. So when you feel comfortable, bring yourself back to your center line with eyes closed if you can tolerate it, to find your alignment and stand, light, tree. And with long neck and light head floating upward, our heavy shoulders and heavy tail melt downward. And as our spine, our string of pearls, stretches between them, our hands hover as if we're tenderly hugging a long-lost loved one. Our feet are parallel in a firm, rooted stance like a mighty oak. With soft knees and soft belly, our three energy centers, our three dantian, are balanced and resting perfectly on one another, as if we carefully gathered, balanced and stacked, three smooth river rocks on life's river's edge. And with soft knees and soft belly, soft breath and soft gaze, or best of all, eyes closed, we feel the echoes of the Qi we stirred. We see the dance in our mind's eye. We choose our favorites. From the wax-off maneuvers to the wax-off east and west and horse stance, to waving hands like clouds, to Master Wong calms waters. We see it, we feel it in our mind's eye. We choose our favorites, we enjoy the show. And if eyes are closed, we enjoy it further as our hands begin the slow journey downward until our thumbs cross over our belly button and our folded fingers warm on the cauldron of the body. As we resume blowing on the embers of the cauldron of the body, we delight in the growing, glowing light through closed eyes and pursed lips as if blowing through a straw. We fill that inner galaxy with light, spill beyond the inner galaxy, and bathe the space around us. And as we blow on the embers of the cauldron of the heart and the cauldron of the body, we draw the light upward and outward with each deep ensuing inhale. And we begin to blow on the embers of the third dantian, the one that brings this beautiful show inside of us. We blow on the embers of all three cauldrons, filling that inner galaxy with light, spilling beyond the inner galaxy and bathing the space around us. Spilling beyond the space around us and bathing the world around us. Spilling beyond the world around us and bathing life itself with light, warm, silken Qi energy. May your body stay strong. May your heart stay calm. And may your mind stay sharp. And may your spirit stay free. Yidao Qi Dao, which means where mind goes, Qi follows. Where intention goes, energy flows. So choose wisely. If your eyes are closed, enjoy it a moment longer as your hands begin to slowly melt to your side, only inviting your eyes to gently, slowly flutter open, just as a butterfly might leave a flower. Welcome back. We step into the center of our little boat. Our hands slowly and deliberately inhale up till they're an inch apart. Just as slowly, just as deliberately, we exhale down our center line one final time as promised, centering the Qi. So the hand on this side of the room or screen makes the gentle fist before the heart. The hand on this side covers it. Together, we take a deep breath in to straighten. We slowly exhale and bow to one another. And you give yourself a round of applause. You deserved it, you earn it for the light you made in the world today. Thank you very, very much.